Yo, so this is this is gonna be our matchup versus Love Star. Uh, yeah, his he's a very top-heavy team, I guess, and I don't know how to feel about his team. I feel like my matchup is very good versus him, but he isn't Iron, Valiant, Terra King Gambit, which is terrifying. Terrifying. Yeah, I'll see myself out now. Elander, Therian, Dragon Knight, Rotomwash, Ogrephon Heartflame, Delirium Wheezing, Cyclozar, and Terra Pikachu. Based. Based Terra Pikachu. Honestly, like, his Val, if it's not Specs, I'm really not worried about it. As long as I can keep my check to it healthy and stuff like that. But I'll show y'all what we're cooking with. So first we got this is my Iron Valiant check. This is Slowking Galar with a Cobra Berry. Because we're Cobra Berries because if he's like some physical set, then like knockoff is done. But we should be able to take any like 2 hits at least for the most part. The special attack investment makes it so Psychic should like almost always KO most times. I think if it's like Calm Mind is the only way it could live 1. Iron Valiant does not have the best spit up stat, but yeah, this is my Valiant check. That's basically what it's here for mostly. We got our Terra Rock Banded Boulder. They do not switch into this like at all. Like even if they go Landorus, I think after Rots it's like a 2-shot. I don't actually remember the calc off the top of my head because I'm recording this like after the fact and stuff. But yeah, I remember just loving the outs. Facade is there basically if they get T-spikes up and I can't remove them, then that's kind of annoying for me. Or if they want to just, if they get me with the Weezing somehow and Will-O-Wisp me or something like that, like, or even a Thunder Wave from Rotom, like, there's a lot of ways this team could status me. So I wanted a way to punish that if I need to. But most times I'm just going to be clicking Mighty Leaf. We got Scarf Curum. This thing kind of just outspeeds most of their team outside like Iron Valiant, Booster Speed, and basically Freeze Dry looks very clean into this team. They really don't switch into Freeze Dry outside of like maybe AV Team Gambit, but Team Gambit is your Terra captain, so you might actually just Terra out of the type you wanna, so then you're not really resist the Freeze Dry. So 9 times out of 10 I will be clicking Freeze Dry. Maybe like I'll click Psychic or Earth Power into the Weezing one time, but Freeze Dry most times is the optimal click here. They just don't switch into it. Crocolar, this thing, we're bringing a lot of defense because they're top heavy team. I think it's very warranted here. But basically their defense, this is basically my Ogrephon Heartflame answer. This is the dedicated Ogrephon Heartflame answer. They need like Stomping Tantrum or like Knockoff to like maybe beat me 1v1. But even then I have Yawn, and if I get rocked up, then Ogrephon just being chipped down by that. Will-O-Wisp is really the Team Gambit. I'm hoping they're not Terrifier. That Terrifier Team Gambit is kind of the one type I'm kind of scared of, I guess. Otherwise, I think Crocolar could check King Gambit as well, unless he's like Terra Ground or something, I guess. I don't know. And then we got Clefable. This is my Dragonite check. We just haven't checked to a lot of their offense because I feel like I have the team to do that. Icy Wind is to basically make sure Dragonite doesn't get out of hand, and some form of speed control felt nice versus their team. It's really funny because I think Quinn ran Icy Wind versus them too, so it's really funny that I'm running it as well. I prepped this before I even watched their battle, but Icy Wind is there for the Dragonite. Basically make sure it can't get too out of hand, and like I could and like basically I wanted Icy Wind to make sure that my Iron Boulder is always faster than Dragonite, because if Dragonite has Iron Head, it could get a little dicey, but I don't know if they bring Iron Head. Yeah, but we'll see, I guess. And then we have this guy. funny story about my my Mandibus this week. This thing was meant to have defog instead of knockoff, but then I was debating between foul play and knockoff, so then I just put them both there and forgot to put defog back on the bond. But you know, so if T fights or like they go Heather out, it's rough. My Crocolar is Terror Poison though, so that's also like a factor, but like this thing is also, I guess, a backup check to like, this thing actually eats hits from landers decently. This thing eats hits from most of their physical offense, but like they have like 6 really good Pokemon, and then like 2 mid Pokemon, and then 1 bad Pokemon. So like I could accurately predict what they're gonna bring for the most part. I don't think Cycler is coming, but any of those other 7 I feel like come. But yeah, that's the team we're rocking with, and we'll get, you know, and you'll see what happened in the battle that I messed up my footage for, so you're gonna get a poster coin. Woohoo! Hello, this is gonna be postcam. This is my recording of the game. Is the crapping was like very messed up in my live recording, and I did not like it, so we're gonna postcam this bitch. And the game is actually I actually speedrun my moves, so I'm gonna talk about my moves a lot more. So we're facing Love Star here. Also shout out to Sharpie Plays or Anthony. He helped me recreate this battle because I wanted to show you something, but the cropping was very bad, obviously. So I wanted to show y'all what happened in this game. So first thing we're gonna pause here. We see from them they have an Iron Valiant, King Gambit. The King Gambit was a Terra Fairy, I believe. Dragonite, Weezingler, Ogrepon, Heartlayman, and Rotom-Wash. Immediately, the first thought that comes to my mind is, oh, their hazard removal was like Weezingler. I'm gonna just click Stealth Rocks here. So I'm gonna leave my Clefable. You'll see that happen in here in just a second. But yeah, I do end up leaving Clefable here. And I think they ended up leading Dragonite, I'd like to say. It's been a couple days since I played this game. When this is uploaded, I'm really recording this a day before, but this battle happened like a week ago or so. Yeah, so immediately I'm like, rocks are super good for Ogrepon Heartflame because it can't be boots. Dragonite, and I was really happy to see Dragonite because this is my dedicated Dragonite check, you know? I was like, I don't think, unless you're like Banded Ironhead, then I don't think you're touching this shit. If you're Banded Ironhead, you're taking rocks damage, and that's good for me. So next we see their Weezing come in, and we get my rocks up. So I'm gonna make the hard switch into my slow team, even though that is my Valiant check and I don't want it to get too weakened. I didn't think they would go for Toxic. I just thought the poison move or whatever was very obvious. So I am risking a poison here, I guess, but like and that does nothing. I want to pause it here because I am gonna just put Chili, but in the original game I did get confused this turn, but I did not hit myself. I want that to be known. I did not hit myself, so this doesn't matter, but I'm just gonna Chili out, just get momentum, because momentum is key in this game, you know? We love momentum. God, I'm not too good at postcom. They go into King Gambit. And I'm okay with this because I get momentum. I was definitely more nervous in the original game because I was like, oh, if I hit myself, that's pretty bad. But then I'm like, I'm gonna go into my Crocolar here. My max defense Crocolar, just with Terra Poison to deal with King Gambit. This is my Ogrepon check, or like one of my better Ogrepon checks. But like right now, I know it's not. Another one wants to take a burn, and if they go Ogrepon, it takes the rocks damage. So I felt like Will-O-Wisp was very free. So they stay in and just let me burn their King Gambit. I was very shocked by that. Definitely definitely threw me for a loop. I thought they would go like hard Rotom or something, but like even if I got the burn and Rotom, I was okay with that because that's chip, you know. I'm gonna slack off here because this is my Orgathon check. I do not want my check to get any more weakened, so I want to just keep this thing nice and healthy if I can. It's just a very good idea for me. They're gonna go into their Rotom. And I honestly, my team really doesn't switch into Rotom that well, so and we do see there are leftovers. So we get some good information there. So now I'm gonna just gonna switch out because we are not staying on Rotom here. This thing's too valuable. We're gonna go Kyurem because it resists the water and the electric stab, I believe. And it just is very like good here. And then my Kyurem is gonna catch a nice thunder wave to the face. My Scarf Kyurem, which kind of sucks. But I was like, even if you're paralyzed, you still switch in pretty well to the stabs of Rotom, and since I know you're leftovers, my Kyurem might still be faster than this thing. And they don't have a Freeze Dry switch in. The Freeze Dry switch in is in Gambit. So we are still faster because of our Scarf, and then we get some good damage on that Rotom. Like, fantastic damage. I'm like, okay, this thing's in range of like everything now, basically. Or like my Iron Boulder and stuff, it's really chipped down, and that's really good. And what Rock's up to, it's very nice for me. They go with the King Gambit. I'm like, I am not scared of this thing whatsoever. So I'm gonna switch back into Crocolar. Like, rocks aren't up, I have nothing to fear from King Gambit. Like, Crocolar is just here to sit here, be annoying. We see the Iron Head that almost does negative damage to me. So now we're gonna, I think here we click Yawn. So I'm like, there's no way you just stay in with a Gambit here. Like, you burn King Gambit, it makes no sense. You don't really gain much from it. So you figure you're gonna make some sort of pivot switch there. And we touch the Rotom Wash with a Yawn. I think my opponent is very incentivized to click Volt Switch here. But I think it's still like not worth letting my Crocolar get chipped since it handles so much of their team. So I'm just gonna make the play back into Kyurem. Like, I feel like I am in such a commanded position that I don't really have to make some like crazy reads to predict them. It's just, so we're just gonna switch out there. That's a decent amount. I forget what they go here. I think it might be Gambit. Is it Gambit? It might be Weezing too. I don't know. I might be getting ahead of myself here. Okay, yeah, they do go the Weezing. They do go the Weezing. And I'm like, alright, I don't care if you go Rotom, I'm just gonna click Earth Power. And it barely misses out on the KO, man. And then they get a layer of T-Spikes up. And after they get the layer of T-Spikes up, I'm a little like panicked. I'm like, okay, I forgot to bring Defog on my Amanda Buzz. So I don't have a conventional way of getting rid of this. But I am Terra Poison my Crocolar, so maybe I have to pivot to want to Terra Poison Crocolar to get the T-Spikes out instead of the Terra Rock Boulder, which I initially wanted to in my team builder. Like, Terra Rock was always the play in my head, but like, now that I see T-Spikes, I'm like, okay, I need because I don't want things like my Slowking and other things to get poisoned if I can, especially because Slowking is my Valiant check. We're just gonna click Earth Power again here, though. I mean, the Rotom switch was obvious, but I figured there was a chance they could just sack the Weezing here, since it really doesn't do much for you at that amount of health. And again, I'm not super concerned about Rotom particularly. I guess a Thunder Wave here could have been bad. Yeah, I think Thunder Wave here could have been a really bad play for me, but like, I think yeah, I'm going to go Clefable here, even though if my Dragonite check gets weakened, it might be a little dicey here. But we're just gonna risk it because I think Volt Switch is always the play here, or Hard Swap. Yeah, Now they probably know I'm choice locked in some way, or they should know at least with how I've been playing it. Yeah, Gambit versus Clefable, not my ideal matchup, but like again, I could just joke. I decided to go Mandibuzz this time actually because I do not want to get poisoned into my Crocolar yet. And this also will probably bait out a Terra from their end, because since they are Terra Fairy, but they're burned so my Mandibuzz can always 1v1 this shit, even if they get like a crit. If they switch out, a knockoff was very good into getting anything knocked off. Like nothing wanted to lose its item really, so I felt like knockoff was a safe play here. And it also gives me information on the type of set they're running. Are they SD? Or what kind of set are they? And I see they're Assault Vest, so I know they're not SD, so I feel much more comfortable about dealing with this King Gambit. That does like nothing to me. So here I'm just gonna flip knockoff again. I'm like, okay, you know I 1v1 you. You should just switch out. But no, you stay in, and I'm like, okay, that's not the play I was expecting really, but hey, you got me there. So now I'm getting a little low, and this is like one of my backup Ogerpon checks. Because Ogerpon is honestly the one I was scared about most in this matchup. So I will just roost here. And I don't think there's, outside of like critting me here, like maybe a crit here could have been disastrous, but I feel like I still live it. Especially because you're burned. Yeah, there's no way a crit kills me here. It would just make me have to stall out another turn of roost really. I'm gonna roost here again, I believe, because I just want to keep this thing as healthy as I possibly can. It's just really nice. And then they're gonna Terra Blast again, so I think at this point I'm just like, okay, they're sacking their King Gambit, I guess. Because I think Gambit dies to rocks now, or if it doesn't, it's very close. So I am just gonna click knockoff again, no reason not to. Covers for switches, and we see the wheezing coming. I'm like, okay, they don't want to lose an item on anything else. I don't know why they necessarily saved. Maybe they thought they could live a knockoff into another move, or into a knockoff to get another layer of T-Spikes up. That might have been the reasoning here. But we're gonna foul play, and we're looking so good. Like basically two of their Pokemon are dead because I think King Gambit dies to rocks. I feel good about King Gambit dying to rocks. So now they go into Rotom. And I don't really want my Mandibuzz to get chipped in any way by this Rotom. So we're just gonna pull the switch right back into Kira. A little bit rinse and repeat, but like that's kind of the team I brought this week. Is it does what it does very well. And then they reveal the Pain Split, and that actually kind of got me off guard. I was not expecting Pain Split there. But King Gambit is completely gone. So Freeze Dry is a safe click here. Now I click Freeze Dry here. And their King Gambit goes, they go into King Gambit, I believe. And it dies to the hazards. So they made a good play there by not letting, because Freeze Dry was such a good click versus any of their Pokemon at that point. Nothing really wanted to take a Freeze Dry. So now they go into Ogerpon Heart Flame, let's say. Yeah, and then it takes the 1 round of rocks damage, and I'm ecstatic to see it take the rocks damage, because I need that turn chip a bit more. So now I'm gonna go to my my Crocolar. This was my dedicated check to it, but with T-Spikes I don't check it as well as I would like. But even if they throw for an SD, I could still yawn them out one time at least to force them to take another round of hazards, since squeezing is gone. And I think my Mandibuzz can soft check this too. So here we're also gonna Terra, because we want to get those T-Spikes off the field. Like, we do not want to deal with T-Spites whatsoever. And I have pivots to stop, like, things like my Iron Boulder and Floating getting poisoned. Those are the 2 months I really don't want to get poisoned. I mean, health doesn't matter on Iron Boulder as much, I guess, but, like, I want to keep it out of, like, I want to keep it fully healthy since it is just a mon that just claims the kill every time it comes in. Yeah, they yawned. They yawned there. So I know I could slack off here. Unless they want their Ogre Pun to go to sleep. Go to sleep, I go hard. Mandibuzz and go from there though. We see the Rotom come in here. This poison on my Crocolar is actually really annoying. I did not really prep for T-Spites that much, but it's all good. Now I debate staying in here, I think, but then I just go to cure him anyway. Now I think that this is like a part of the battle that did change a little bit in this recreation, but not too much. Oh no, they do hit, yeah, so they do hit the Hydro Pump, so I'm pretty low there. So in the original battle, I do click Freeze Dry here. But I'm actually going to click Earth Power here because I do get paralyzed. I get fully paralyzed on this turn. Which I don't in the recreation, of course. Yeah, I get fully paralyzed, so then they get the Volt Switch off and my Kyurem is super fucking low. And I'm like, that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I think Freeze Dry would have put it in Rock's range or close to it. I'm not actually 100% sure. So then Ogerpon comes back out, and I'm like, well, and in the original game, I am locked into Freeze Dry here. And I'm like, well, if I click Freeze Dry and I get paralyzed here, they could get a free SD up and I might just lose the game. I don't want to risk this para. I do not want to risk the para, so I go hard into my Mandibuzz. I calc it for a while. I know that my Mandibuzz could take 2 Ivy Cudgels. They SD. I live a +2 Ivy Cudgel. They just Ivy there, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. I could just roost. Keep my Mandibuzz healthy. We see them click SD here, and I'm like, okay, that's fine by me. Because now I could just foul play the next turn. They need hope for a crit here. And if they do crit me, I think I would probably just go Iron Boulder the next turn. Because I should outspeed it. Yeah, so they do not get the crit, I foul play, and this thing goes down. That's like the biggest thing I was worried about in this team. Because a double unaware versus a Ogerpon Heart Flame is kind of spooky, you know? Now they go with Dragonite. I have no reason to sack my Mandibuzz here. I have a full house Clefable. And like, we haven't really seen any move from this thing, but I find it hard. And we saw his boots, so we know it's not banded. So we see the Ice Spinner. Now we're going to Moonblast here because I do not expect them to stand. Moonblast is relatively free versus Rotom, Val, and D-Knight, I believe, is their last 3. And we get the special attack drop. That doesn't really... we didn't get the special attack drop in the original game, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't come into play. I'll say that much. So then we don't really have a great switch into this now. So I take this opportunity to go into my Crocolar. Its value is lost it since it's lost its Eviolite, and I want to get rid of T-Spikes to be able to bring Boulder in freely. So at this point, I'm kind of just at the point where I am stacking this thing. They do Thunder Wave, and you know, I'm poisoned already, so you can't Thunder Wave me, buddy. It would have been a great opportunity to bring Kyurem in, but I just did not expect them to put Thunder Wave there. So at this point, I just click Yawn. And I do live. I live in the original as well, so. So if something's getting Yawn, it has to take rocks damage, unless your name is Dragonite. So Dragon Knight comes in. You don't want your Dragon Knight going to sleep, though. You don't know if boost your speed Iron Boulder yet or not, because I haven't brought it in one time yet. I live with more than one in the original game, but I'm looking to collect Yawn again. They don't want their Pokemon going to sleep. They do not want their Pokemon to go to sleep at this point. So Rotom Wash comes in, this annoying washing machine. So I'm sacking my Crocolar here. Maybe if I played a bit more aggressive, I could have probably tried to preserve a Sitso. But I felt like I was in such a commanding position, I really didn't need to make any of those plays. Like, I feel so good about my position in the game. I think Spec Val could be an issue, but I don't think you can afford to be Specs in this game. Like, a Spec Shadow Ball would be like really bad for me here, but I don't think there's Spec Shadow Ball. Since my Mana Buzz is low, that would be an issue, but I don't... Specs is what I was most worried about in prep. I don't think there's Specs. And I killed a Rotom, and this should force Valiant in, I know that. Because you're not going to go to Dragonite, you take so much from my Abandoned Mighty Cleave. So they are boosted speed, and I go into Slow King, and I'm like, the only way this is bad is if they click Calm Mind here, but they don't want to click Calm Mind in front of a Banded Boulder. That would be very bold, and I don't even know if they're special or physical at this point. So we see the Shadow Ball. It kind of bounces off me. I think even if they got the Split F drop, I think I still lived another one. Would have been close. They do get the Split F drop here in the original game, but my Psychic should just always KO it, even if it has like some HP EVs. And now, it's just Dragonite versus the world. And at this point, I feel very good about my position in the game, but I do just play it safe and go Manda Buzz because I have not seen their last move, and if it was Iron Head, depending if they were adamant, might have been able to two-shot me, and I felt like there was no reason to ever risk that. They decided to click Dragon Dance for whatever reason when I have an unaware class, so I was very shocked by that. But it worked out for them because they're going to snag another diff, because I'm like, I haven't seen their last move at this point. And they just Ice Spinner. So at this point, I'm thinking they don't have Iron Head, but I'm going to just preserve the 4-0 with Clef, because unless they like crit me, I should be okay. But I'm going to play to like avoid the crit if I can. So I'm going to Icy Wind first to get their speed down, so Iron Boulder can always revenge kill them. Because Iron Boulder is actually faster than Dragonite. So now we're gonna Moonlight and just be annoying. Clefable doing Clefable things. Now I think if they crit me, it should get dangerous, but the fact is, like, because I got the Icy Wind off, I am actually in such a good spot for Boulder to like always kill. And I do not think a +1 exchange speed will ever kill me. This Boulder is in the most bulky thing, but it has respectable bulk. So now we're gonna Moonblast here. They've shown me speed, so I know their whole set now too. So they do Dragon Dance again. And now I'm debating, do I click Icy Wind? But I'm like, well, they're guaranteed in I never died to a crit here, I'm pretty sure, and they are also in a quick attack Boulder range, so I don't ever have to risk anything here. But that's gonna be a GG's. That's gonna be a GG's. I win a 4-0 this one. This is gonna be a 4-0 win. So it's gonna be a nice 4-0 win. Shout out Anthony, man. He was a great friend and helped me recreate this battle. No, it's not easy, I'll say that much. I was ready to pull my hair out. But yeah, GG's to Lovestar. I wish my original cropping in my recording wasn't as bad. And I did send my original crop to him because he needed it, so I'm not sure if he's going to use it in his video or not. But if he does, you guys can go check out some of my terrible cropping in that video, I guess. But for sure, GG's. We're going 2-0 in this, and to start off WBL, really exciting, and I'll see y'all for week 3.